I mentioned the total failure of the Morrison government's virus app. Here again is how it was meant to work. People download it onto their phones, then anytime they meet someone for 15 minutes, which is the time it usually takes to get infected, that meeting is recorded on the app, and provided both of the people in that meeting have that app. Then if one of those people turns out to be infected, the contact tracers can download the information on that app with the permission of the person who owns it to find out who else could have been infected. Helps them allegedly contact trace. And 6 million Australians downloaded it. Big uptake. But the first person I know to warn that this would actually be a multi-million dollar flop, the first person to go against the media tide of support was Dr David Adler, writing in The Spectator Australia 3 months ago. David Adler is a former Deputy Medical Secretary of the Australian Medical Association and joins me now. David, it's always great to catch up with you. First, how much did we spend on building this app and promoting it?
Andrew, the grand total appears to be about $70 million. That's 70 million. Something of the order of $3.8 million in the actual development of the app, another few $2 million, which is hard to know what it was on, perhaps additional programming or changing down the track, and a massive $64 million advertising campaign throughout the country. So $70 million, and as you said in your intro, not a single case has been identified which we can demonstrate is a result of the app. So it's $70 million down the proverbial toilet.
Well, that's the $64 million question. There's not just how much they spend on promoting it, but how do the figures work out? How many times was it downloaded to try to find contact tracing of people who might have got infected by someone who was infectious, and how many, and well, zero results, but how many times was at least tried?
Well, the app was launched on the 26th of April. The article that you refer to that I published in the Spectator magazine is dated the 28th of April. So immediately I could see there were major flaws in it. In Victoria, there have been, it's been accessed about 300 times, 325 times, something of that order, from the thousands of cases that have occurred in this second wave in Victoria. Zero have been demonstrated through contacts via the app. And in New South Wales, the numbers are much smaller. It's been accessed maybe a dozen times, and again, zero cases. So my major concern is you showed the Prime Minister saying that it was a bit like sunscreen, that it provided this protection. One thing that hasn't been assessed through the app is, could it have lulled people into a false sense of security? You know, people, young people in particular, have this on their phones. They might feel that it's safe, for example, to go to big demonstrations in the city, because if anything goes wrong, there's this app in their pocket. And therefore
that's exactly my problem with one of the problems with the face masks, isn't it? The false sense of security thing, which then mitigates against what limited protection a face mask can give you. Why did it fail, David?
Well, there were three major flaws in my view. You referred to the 15-minute time limit. Now, you can have many interactions, and it is possible to pass the virus in a quick time, much quicker than 15 minutes. You don't need that length of continuous exposure. So you can be exposed to sitting next to someone in a bus for 10 minutes, or during your shopping trips with infected people. It won't register as a contact. The second thing is that the most vulnerable groups that we need to protect, the frail-aged in particular, including those in nursing homes, are the ones that are most unlikely to actually use the app. So we're creating it for a cohort that don't really need that top level of protection. And the third thing, Andrew, is we don't know exactly what proportion of coronavirus cases transmitted via contaminated surfaces. But obviously the app has zero effectiveness in detecting cases that are picked up through contaminated surfaces as well. So you put those things together and it compounds into a tool that is reasonably ineffective. I'm surprised at how ineffective it has turned out to be.
No, I would have thought a couple, but no, it's just incredible. And the last point, so someone sneezed on a surface, walked away, and you touched them and brought your hand to your face, they wouldn't pick it up. So there you go. David Adler, thank you so much indeed for your time. And if people want to see more of your prescient writing, it's in the Spectator Australia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.